Standard Underground, episode 5. I'm Reid, man. Hey, look, I told y'all I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I don't know how many times I gotta say that, but we about to step up the game right here with this guy right here, man. You've seen him all over for real. You know, I say that about a lot of people. This is a very important guest right here, man. Straight out of Morehouse, HBCU. You feel me? HBCU grad. You don't think this man on the oath? Okay. If you don't know about the oath, 50 over the oath. You feel me? This man done been on Criminal Minds, so he can cross convert. This man can cross convert. He done been on the show Lucifer, and he on Get Shorty right now. And you know, I don't know what era y'all grew up in, but this man been around doing this for a long time, so don't let him fool y'all, man. This man done been on America's Most Wanted. You feel me?
acting on America's Most Wanted. They weren't looking for me.
Yeah. Make sure you put that out there, man. Isaac Keys, man. Welcome to the Standard Underground, man. How you living?
Hey, man, life is good, bro. Life is really good, man. I'm just excited to be here. Man, a shout out to you for doing your thing, man. I'm checking out your podcast, bro. You're doing it, man.
I appreciate it, dog. You know. So today we want to talk to you, man. You probably the biggest star that been on the podcast, you know.
Wow. I don't know about that, man.
I mean, hey man, I appreciate you coming in. So
yes, sir.
You know, been around 50 and Christina Milian, that's a bad woman, but yeah. how has your career taken off, and is it where you thought it was going to be when you first started?
Wow. I mean, I guess to break it down, man, it's a process. It's kind of like anything. I think it's kind of like, you know, how you started the podcast. It was like you found a passion in that, and then you just keep on working and keep grinding and, you know, building relationships. With acting, man, it was something that just kind of came into the play. I didn't always know I wanted to be an actor, you know, so it was something that kind of just came into my life where it's like, shit, I feel like most people are acting in their lives already anyway, to an extent sometimes. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's simple. It's like if you take a phone call, hey, I'm going to call you right back. I'm going to go in this meeting. You're not going to no meeting. You just need to call the person back. So, you know, you just put on some lines out there. So, I mean, but, you know, I just feel like, you know, in the career, it just kind of is something I started wanting to do, but then I had to work my way up, man. It wasn't because football or anything else. Nobody knew me for any of that. It was just more or less I worked my way to find an agent, got extra roles, background roles, did all that. I did everything, student films, and just worked my way up to get to the point where I can say that I was on the Oath or, you know, all these different shows. But it's a process, man. So you can't be scared of that.
I feel that. So what's the life, man? You coming from LA, you in LA. Let the people know you the first person outside the state. They think I'm doing it only in Charlotte. So living in LA, you living the dream. You the actor, you the person. So I guess to connect you to the stardom that we see, you know, on TV and movies, back to the rural hoods and whatnot, that there's still a connect. So
yeah.
What are you able to see from there and able to put on your platform to connect back to the people that maybe don't have Hollywood dreams, or maybe there's no way out?
I think it's this, man. I think there's always a way out. It's, you know, it starts with a mindset. You know, right. It's your thoughts. I mean, what you see may be your reality at that moment, but it's also about what do you want. You know what I mean? I would say people can be a product of their environment, but, you know, you don't have to be. You know what I mean? I get it. I feel like that's the easy way. That's the lazy way. And I'm not saying it's easy to get out. I'm just saying, what do you want out of life? And if you start to find a path and every day know what I want more, then you'll start to do more. You'll start to make the steps to be able to do that. And I think everybody has a story to tell. Like, I mean, I came from that type of thing too, where I just wanted more. I wanted more. When I saw it, I was like, hey, I can do that. I want that. If I travel somewhere, like, first of all, get out of your neighborhoods, get out of your cities, travel and see what other places are out there. I don't care if you're in Charlotte, go down to, make sure you go to Atlanta, make sure you go up to DC, make sure you go different places you know, just places you can drive or take the bus to if you're in the hood. You know what I mean? If you're in those places, get out so you can see more. You see more people like you, see more people that's different than you, different houses, different works. You see successful Black people. You have to see that, man. So, you know, come to LA. Yeah, LA is the city of dreams, what they call it. It's also expensive as shit to live here. But, you know, it makes you get on your hustle. You got to get on your hustle to pay for it. You pay for the amenities. It's 100-some degrees today, and it's October 2nd. You know what I mean? So you pay for the beaches, you pay for the palm trees and, you know, the lifestyle. But I just tell people all the time, man, just if you want more, you'll do more.
Right. So in more aspect, what did you do specifically to, you know, get out that mindset? Because, you know, everybody knows Isaac played football in the NFL, so they feel like, okay, well, he NFL, he's around certain people, he can get to certain extents and resources. So what did you specifically, what was that trial and testimony for you that like, oh shit, like this ain't the league, this ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I take you back even further. I mean, first off, you know, they say Isaac and look on Google and say Isaac NFL like that, but Isaac was a walk-on at Morehouse College. Morehouse was not known for athletics. We went 0-11 my first year, you know, there, and then we just kind of built it up. And I didn't know I wasn't a top prospect to go to NFL. I just kept working, and coaches came to me like, Ike, you might have a chance. I'm like, what do you mean you might have a chance? You might have a chance to go to the NFL, really? Okay. You know, but I just felt like, okay, when you put that bug in my ear, that was like, let me keep pushing. So I started to dominate the conference. From there, I got picked up as a free agent. I wasn't drafted. So, you know, I guess what I'm saying is and I still worked. You know, I played with your brother. So, you know, it's with the Cardinals. So it's one of the things where it was always uncertain. It was just always being the underdog and having to work my ass off to try to make something happen. And that's what I pride everything on. And even when I left the league starting completely over. Like I had $50 in my account at one point when I left the NFL, and I didn't know what the hell I was going to do with my life. Acting wasn't in place. None of that was in place. I was trying to figure it out. I went from, and then they talk about a lot of depression and anxiety things that they're doing right now with athletes and people and mental health. I was going through all that, not even knowing it, you know, and not even knowing. But all I knew was the work ethic of I got to do more, I got to do better, and what do I want out of life? So acting started to kind of present itself through some endeavors that I did with Essence and some other things because I had a friend who was a publicist who was putting me out there. Oh, I football player. I'm like, man, I ain't even playing right now no more. You know what I mean? I ain't signed back with the Cardinals. Like, but the conversational piece. So when you have somebody speaking on your behalf in a positive manner, it also helps. That's why you got to surround yourself around positive people and people are doing well for themselves. That's my message there. But the backstory is this: I've always been a grinder. Anybody ever know me? I've always been a grinder, and I feel like the grind doesn't stop; it just changes. So I just continue to grind, man, and I just feel like you have to have that ability inside, man. When you get kicked and had to fall down, you got to get your ass back up. Yeah.
So that grit and that grind has landed you on movies like Jurassic World. You see what I'm saying? Major movies. You see.
Right.
So I guess the distraction we talked about Morehouse. We keep bringing up you in the A, dog. You in the A. If you any part of this culture, you know the distractions that go on in the A.
Yes, indeed.
So
indeed.
What was the major distraction that you had to get over and overcome other than being a football player at Morehouse, other than I guess being no scholarship guy, undrafted free agent? What step did you have to take? Like, man, I can't deal with that at Morehouse because that one right there.
No, I get it, man. Not going back, man. Okay, so first off, going to HBCU is an experience in itself. It's a great experience, but it's also got, you know, its lows like anyone else, like any other thing. What I learned most at Morehouse was learning how to network to make things happen. The registration line used to be out the administration office all the way around the corner. And I used to be like, man, I ain't waiting in that line. I'm not a line person. I'm the type of person where I need to figure out what's going on in the front, because you may be waiting in the wrong line the whole time. And it's been times you get into the front, they be like, oh, baby, you supposed to be in the other line over there. You get ready to throw a fit because you like, man, I waited 2 hours in this line to get up here for you to tell me I'm in the wrong line. So I learned how to, okay, let me go up to the front and see what's going on. So I learned by seeing the lady at the front. I saw that she was drinking a Coke. I said, oh, she drinks Coca-Cola soda. I said, oh, okay. Let me go find her. I go to the soda machine. I buy a Coke soda. I walk past everybody in the line. People looking like, who is he? Where he know he going? I go to the front of the line and say, hey, miss, I saw that you drink Coke soda. I just wanted to bring you one. And she looked at me, you know, that black lady looked at me like, boy, what you doing? And I said, well, I just know you needed a Coke soda. It's like that. And, you know, I saw the line, but I didn't know if I was in the right place. Man, next thing I know, I've never waited in the line in the administration office. She's become a Morehouse mom to me. I have 2 other Morehouse moms in there. So I've just learned how to network to get the things that I need to get done at the school.
Mm-hmm.
And then Atlanta, it can be a distraction. It was parties every night. They had shuttle buses go to clubs every night. So, you know, what I did is just, you know, sometimes you had to pick and choose your battles. It's about discipline, man, in life. So, you know, if you got a paper to get done, you got to make sure you get that paper gets done. But I saw a lot of people, first thing they say is look to your left and look to your right. One of these people is not going to be here come graduation. They was right, though. They was right. So, you know, you got to have some discipline in your life, man. Like, shout out to my parents for you know, instilling that in me as well, too, as well as sports.
So that. So
Yeah.
how did you end up in LA?
I mean, you had to be here. In order for the transition to acting, LA is the place you got to be. The markets weren't strong in Atlanta like it is now when it came to acting. So down south is kind of like become the new market in Atlanta for acting and for actors. So I was in Phoenix, finished up with the Cardinals, and then eventually it was like, hey, they were like, you need to go take acting classes. Phoenix didn't have a market for acting classes. I was like, okay, well, I got a cousin out there. I go stay there. I'm staying on my cousin's couch. It was him and his father staying in a 2-bedroom apartment. I'm on the couch over there right by the jungle. So I got my experience of LA, that little hood area. Being from St. Louis, it wasn't nothing different. But it was just an experience. The culture in LA is different. So I came out here. I left my house in Phoenix. Eventually, you know, like I said, it was going through a transitional period. The housing market has crashed, but I came here and I paid my dues, man. Like people say, you get $1 in a dream. I came to LA, stayed on my cousin's couch. So I built myself up to get my own apartment. I stayed on a few people's couches for a second. And then I built myself up, get my own things, man. A lot of people out here, like I said, it's a hustle city. People out here working, you know, jobs as waiters and, you know, security guards, which I've done as well too, just to fund the dream is what I call it. You come out with a dream, but you got to fund that dream. Yeah, so I had to come out here to make it happen, man.
So while working out there, when was you felt like I'm on? It's up now. You know, let's go.
I think.
And what movie was that, if I may ask?
Sure. Jurassic World had to have a major impact. Jurassic World had a major impact because it was a major film, and it was like, you know, it was one of the highest grossing films at that time period. But being on that set and being with those actors, from Chris Pratt to Tony Onofrio and Lauren Lupkis and Jake, it was just seeing how much money was put into that. That set was amazing, man. You know, the dinosaurs, and me being a black character on there, I just knew I was gonna get ate by a dinosaur because, you know, us black people, we don't make it long in these horror or dinosaur films. So I just knew I was gonna get ate on that, but I lived. I was the worst security guard, control room security guard probably ever. I couldn't keep anybody at that control room, but that was my role. So I played my role. But I felt like that was the start of knowing, okay, I can do this. And from there, Get Shorty. When Get Shorty came, it's like I was at Get Shorty. It was like, oh, this is a real series. And then we were, you know, lucky to do 3 seasons, and the Oath came in between that. I just felt like, okay, now I got the title. I'm a working actor. That's an amazing title to have, man.
All right. So we talked about the hustle. We talked about Morehouse. We talked about living in LA.
What you really want to know? What's going on? You feel like you holding back on me. What you really want to know? What can I give you?
Man, how's the women in LA, man?
There you go. There you go. Let's talk about this street talk. Okay, yeah, man. You see it, LA is a diverse city, man. And it's like, you know, I'm from St. Louis, I've been to Atlanta. You know, we got it's a strong African-American population out there. Sometimes you can go a day or two without even seeing somebody from the ethnicity, depending where you at, you know? Right. You come to LA, man, you're not even caught up on that vibe. Like, you just seeing people, bro. Like, it's just like, you know, it's people from all different ethnicities. And They got an Armenian town over in Glendale. You got Armenians, you got Spanish, you got all kind of Spanish. You know, it's like all kinds of Spanish. You got everything. So it's like it's very eclectic and artsy. And it's like you can't get bored out here because I can be in North Hollywood Arts District, but then I go over the hill to Hollywood. I got Santa Monica. I go all the way down to Laguna. San Diego's 2 hours away. You know, it's like you can't get bored because each pocket is different. Venice is going to be different than Hollywood. It's a beach vibe. But then Santa Monica be different than Venice. And all of them has got different women. So basically, you know what I'm saying? You can do a lot of things. You get a lot of good trouble and a lot of bad trouble if you're not in control. You talk about discipline. People that came out here, man, LA done chewed them up and sent them right back home because they was like, man, I lost it. I couldn't keep up.
Little bro might need to just come out there and see the landscape. That way I get my head right.
Yeah, bro. Come on, get your head out there and sit by the beach, meditate for a second, and then get in the streets.
Do that. So in LA, man, I guess we see all the Instagram type shit, the Lambos, the cars, the house parties where, you know, they having 500 models in that
right.
trying to get some attention. So are you in and out them parties to network, or you know, to do both, or how is that scene really set up, or is that just a flash for Instagram?
I tell you like this. I mean, there's a lot of first of all, there's a lot of parties and things of that nature. Anybody know me, Ike's I like a good time. Now what that good time consists of is different. Like sometimes parties they be so blown out, you know, you like, man, ain't no sense of trying to go there, or it's so hard to some things it's just so hard to even to go to. You know, like I go to events that I know where I feel welcome and I feel invited. You can go to a club out here, sometimes they playing that whole game of who's getting in or you got to pay this and everything, like it's too much of a hassle. So I make sure that I know through relations, I just build a network of people that I know. Now, when it comes to all the different parties, like they happen. It's a lot of models out here. It's a lot of IG models, a lot of big parties. You see a lot of Lamborghinis. You know, I don't know if these people living in their truth or not. Some of them are, some of them aren't. You know, some people feel like they got to keep up with the Joneses when they come out here. And usually those are the ones that end up kind of falling flat on their face later on. So it's important to keep a good support circle around you here. Like ones that are going to keep you honest, going to keep you grounded. Because if not, man, you will start to float into the clouds. And, you know, you don't know where that's going to go, like a balloon. So, but yeah, man, some of this is what is that scene. You know, but you got to come out here and check it out, bro. Like, see it for yourself.
Hey, man, I'm grinding. I'm going to be there soon.
I'll hold you to it.
So what's the most distracting thing you had in LA? You know,
most distracting?
Yeah, like what's something that you like? Oh, whoa, this might take me out of here. This might chew me up and send me
rent.
back.
Rent was the most distracting thing. The man's about to send me home. Shit. Hey man, you rent. That's it. Rent and gas. But yeah, man, straight up. I think probably the most distracting thing, man, is just trying to, you know, you start thinking when you first get out here, you want to be out. You want to see everything. You want to go every place. You want to try every club. You want to, you know, restaurant. You just want to be out. And that costs money. Most time you leave your house here, you damn near can spend $100 just like that in one night. Because by the time you drive, park, then try to get in the place and then buy a drink, you just spend $100, man. Like, you know, so if you coming out here and, you know, you're not on yet financially, it's like you got to be honest with yourself and you got to kind of be like, hey, let me just sit back and chill for a minute. But then you like, damn, I want this bad girl here. But, you know what I mean? You feel like you got to put yourself in a certain place or situation in order to achieve things that are really, you know, things that you don't really need at that moment. So it's about prioritizing. So that's why I say, man, you got to try to be grounded, bro. You got to try to, it's a process.
That. So
yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot right here.
Okay.
You seen Christina Milian. What was your thought? What was it like everybody else in America? Like, damn, she bad. Or was it like,
you understand? You know, Christina Milian, I've always been a fan before I even knew she was going to be on the Oath.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, yeah, she's always a very attractive woman. But I tell you, when we finally got on set, you just really, you know, now it's the judge and it's like, okay, I knew she was attractive. But what's her personality like? Because, you know, sometimes personality can make someone unattractive.
Right.
Christina Milian is attractive through and through. Beautiful person, man, inside and out. Like really down to earth, cool. Like Opportunity said, I was a group. We'll go have drinks. We'll go eat because we shot in Puerto Rico. So we shot out to Puerto Rico. That was already like we shooting in paradise.
Right.
Shout out to Puerto Rico because Puerto Rico is a beautiful place, man. People need to check it out. If you've never been there, check it out. Great food, great energy. You talking about a place where they party and invite you to have a great time? Puerto Rico is that. But Christina, man, just a great person, man. I'm so happy for everything that she's doing in her endeavors, man, as far as her relationship and her new baby. And she has a beautiful daughter as well, too.
Feel that. So when you met 50, all right, you know, they call 50 the bully. 50 out here doing what 50 do. So what was it like in 50? What I know you got a good friendship with 50 and whatnot. So how's that friendship?
It was more or less, you know, we got to meet. We're not, I mean, honestly, we're not close or anything like that. But he knows my work. He appreciated me and my character on the Oath, and I appreciate him and his company for giving me the opportunity. And we have created a relationship, working wise, with other people with his production company as well too. Shout out to him on everything he got coming out. 50 was, when I met 50, it was different, you know, because I know, you know, the stories from 50's come from the streets. 50's is kind of his walk from what I've seen through the same things you've seen. 50 is so personable, bro. Like I respect him in every form and facet on the facts of how he can take from one genre, from being like streets, rap, hip hop, and still build it and still flip that into this business where he walks in these rooms to the execs say, this is the show that I want, and his impact. But when I met him, it was like, he was like, hey man, yeah, I love what you're doing on the show. We talked, took a picture. Then he just started dropping gems. He started talking about the different things of how he started with Power, how the characters came involved, what do we got to do in this business. He just completely opened up, and I'm like, bro, like he basically got a group of us, and we just started talking, and he's dropping gems. Like the man is very smart, business-wise, street-wise, and calculated enough to know what he's doing. I mean, he had an impact just with stars. I remember through his following, he's like, hey, everybody cancel stars. I don't like the way they doing one season for Power. Subscriptions dropped like 30%. Like the impact that you started to have just to your social media, and you saw that because you call him the bully. But anybody to know 50, man, he's seen from what I've seen, man, he's a very genuine person, good person, and I got the utmost respect for what he's doing, man.
I feel that.
Yeah.
So you got
we didn't get a chance to party though. We was trying to hit one of them strip clubs while we was in Puerto Rico. Man, we didn't get a chance to happen, but hopefully,
hey,
we will hang out one time.
Hey, you got your rent money put up, you know.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned. You gotta keep 6 months of emergency money. Keep that locked up, bro. That's my financial advice for today. Keep 6 months locked up.
Got you.
LA.
I got you. So you got a couple, you know, projects you working on. I think The Secret Closet, all that type stuff coming out soon. So how's those sets going right now?
Most of those things that you've seen, they're still like in post-production. I mean, people think these projects are just, sometimes people get the assumption that these projects are just easy. You just write them, get them, and you shoot them. And a lot of those projects were ones that friends were developing. And like I said earlier, it's about having a good support group out here. And a lot of times it's about developing your own content, what you're doing, you know, having your own podcast, developing your own content and not waiting for someone else. So some of these projects I've been in talks with friends that have written fantastic scripts. So now it's about trying to get them in the right places to be able to get filmed, or we film it ourselves. Right now, because COVID hit, everything is slowed down, but it's starting to pick back up. So I'm looking for other projects. I'm auditioning for different things that come up, and you know, you don't get every project that you audition for, but it's like the eye game. Let me keep auditioning, then something else will pop up, and the right thing will happen. So yeah, I'm just staying sharp, man. Staying sharp, being creative, acting class, just working on the craft. So I'm the same way like training for football, getting it right, keep it tight.
Feel that, man.
Yeah.
All right. So staying true to yourself out here in LA.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talked about the rent and whatnot. So staying true to yourself, as in we talked about, you know, you said trying to pull a bad girl. Maybe she got 2 times the bag that you got, or like, damn, I want her, but how do you stay true to yourself? Like, this is a good woman that I can take home to mom, and that's who she gonna be, and decipher that from, this is badass actress that, yeah, that's gonna put me on the map.
It's just that. You decipher it. You sit here and look at like, hey, is this for a short time or a long time? You know what I mean? Am I here for a good time, or what are you for? So that's the work on yourselves. I mean, one of my biggest advice tips I feel is people have to work on themselves. And I think COVID has put people in a place where they have to work on themselves. You have to start to face a lot of issues because you were on lockdown. You had to face them things, face them problems, face yourself. And then when you work on yourself, you start to develop that maturity of what you feel you want in your life. At the point of my life, being older and more mature, I know whether this is going to be something we just going to enjoy each other for a moment, or something I'm looking for long term, or something that, like you said, take it home to mom. But my mom's so dope; she can tell the difference if I bring her. I don't have no. I can bring her around my mom and be like, "Okay, yeah, I see what you're doing here." My whole family like, "Oh, okay, I see what you're doing. All right." So I really never ran into that type of problem. But I mean, it's really just being, like you said, I've said, true to yourself. But do the work on yourself, man, and know what you want. Don't be, don't think you're finna take this girl that's out here posing and doing all these modeling pictures because she has another ulterior motive. You gotta understand what she's going for.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's you, sure. But if it's not you, you gotta learn to, play the game. You know what I mean? Don't expose yourself too much.
That.
Yeah.
Who has crossed your path that you like, damn, that's such and such, whether it's a male actor or a female actor or an artist or anybody. Not just not starstruck, but like, damn, they go Denzel, or damn, they go Martin.
It was two. I've met Denzel. His son, John David, went to Morehouse, who's a little younger than me, but him and I are cool. So I had a chance to meet his father a couple times. And that was, of course, at that point. But there was another instance where, so Kevin Conley, if you don't know Kevin Conley played Eric on Entourage. He became the manager, whatever, Entourage, phenomenal show. He also directed some episodes of The Oath. So we became boys. So he has a bar here called Gold. And I went to the bar, we'll hang out there, we do karaoke and we'll laugh and everything. And we're sitting over this booth. He said, "Hey, Ike," he said, "I want you to meet Leo." I turn around and it's Leonardo DiCaprio sitting there with a Mets hat on, pulled down tight like this. And he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And we used to get hands. I turned back around. I said, "That's Leonardo DiCaprio." And I said it because, there's somebody that we all grown up watching, and he has some of the best films, out there, and it was just like, oh, because it was so subtle and was so quick. I'm like, that's Leonardo DiCaprio. The other time was Kevin Costner. See, I love the movie Dances with Wolves. I always like cowboy pictures and, cowboys and Indians. I always root for the Indians. My mama said I had Indian in my family, so I always rooted for the Indians. So, my great-grandmother was Indian. So, but Kevin Costner was one of the, Dances with Wolves was one of the greatest Western films to me. So I met him at a function, a function for a foundation. And we actually talked because I also auditioned for one of his shows called Yellowstone. And we sat there and talked. And so Kevin Costner was another one. It was actually 2 times. I was almost in draft day, but Chadwick Boseman ended up taking the role. Hi, shout out to him. Rest in peace for sure.
Right.
But it's like, man, at the time, he had just came off Jackie Robinson, and I was going for the football player, Matt. I said, how they gonna give him? I still have my football neck and everything. I'm like, how they gonna get a role to him? He didn't even play football. And I was like, he played Jackie Robinson. All right.
Right.
Yeah, it's the difference. But one day I'll be in that position. But he's paved the way for a lot of us Black actors for sure.
So, is there any, other than that movie? Is there any movie or show that you was like, damn, I wish I would have got that? I was right there. I almost had it.
And I be trying to forget those movies because they'll drive me crazy. It's like, because the process is try to do the audition, and as soon as you leave, throw the sides in the trash can and move on with your life. because you would literally be sitting there talking about some, man, if I get this role, man, it's gonna change my life. That's how I used to be. It's gonna change my life. I'm be doing this. I'm be doing that. I'm gonna be able to pay this. And that's how you be thinking when you first start getting into it. I'm trying to think of one. I can't think of a role, man. I tell you, I really be trying to get rid of them in my mind. The ones I've gotten, it was Draft Day was one. I can't think of another one, man.
Respect.
I don't, man. I'm blacked out. But that Draft Day hurt me, man. That was the beginning before I did anything else.
We're gonna make you think, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh man, well man, I appreciate you for stopping in, big dog. You know, we don't want to take up too much of your time. You know, keep it real, letting people know there's hope, man. It ain't as far fetched as people really think it is. You just gotta put that time and effort in.
It's just a journey, man. It's a journey. It's a process, and you just got to find happiness along the way. That's all, man. Anybody can do it.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you for stopping in, big dog.
All right, bro. I appreciate it, man. Shout out to the Standard Underground, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And you got a supporter here, bro.
I appreciate it.
No doubt, my dude.